Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for that very kind and warm welcome, and thank you, Sheikh Abdul Malik. Can I start by thanking you and the whole team here for making this event happen this year. I think we've all missed coming together like this for the last 18 months, so it's really, really powerful to see you all here today. And thank you for name-checking the fact that I did my MSc in history here, and Professor Sir Jim has been quite persistent in trying to ensure that I do my PhD here now as well, so I'll be quite busy over the few next years, I believe. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my complete and immense pleasure as the Law Provost for the City of Glasgow to have this wonderful opportunity to finally, personally welcome you all back to Glasgow, and particularly here to Strathclyde University's annual TEDx conference. A conference, as we all know, with the theme Resilience Reignited. Resilience, a buzzword with a great deal of resonance on so many levels these days. And it is true that the resilience of all of us, whether it be on a personal, private level or on a public and professional basis, that resilience has been severely tested, particularly over the last 18 months. And emotionally, whatever our circumstances, our backgrounds, or our beliefs may be, we have all had to find inner strength. And just on that note, I'm going to very briefly deviate from what I had prepared previously. The buzzword today is resilience. And as I mentioned, over the last 18 months, we've all endured some very tough times in our own ways. Some of us may sadly have lost loved ones. Some of us will have had family members who have had job insecurities, not been able to make ends meet, and therefore had trouble finding foods for their family members. And when I came into my post as Law Provost for the City of Glasgow, that officially happened on the 23rd of January 2020, so just a few weeks before the pandemic properly hit. And I had so many amazing ideas how to reinvigorate the role and do things slightly differently and show the best side of the City of Glasgow to not only our own citizens but to the world globally. And unfortunately, as for all of us, the pandemic made us rethink those plans. But for me, and I'm using this as an example of resilience, not only my resilience, but others, when I came into post and the pandemic hit, I had the choice. Do I sit back? Do I stay at home? Have my Zoom meetings, my Teams meetings, or do I show civic leadership for which I was elected? I chose the latter. I went out, put on my pair of jeans, my t-shirt, and I went out to help community groups, volunteers with food parcel deliveries, tried to speak with elderly in our communities who are self-isolating and did not have anyone else to speak with for days, if not weeks on end. And the reason why I'm mentioning that, ladies and gentlemen, is not to let you know what I did, but it was to let you know that by doing so, it was my way of, one, helping the most vulnerable in our society. But it was also, at the same time, my way of saying thank you to all the community groups and the volunteers and shedding light on the amazing work that they do, not simply during a pandemic, but every single day. And I wanted to show them how resilient they were. And in my small way, I was trying to instill some resilience and hope in them to continue the hard fight and work that they do. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is entirely relevant and timely that your TEDx conference with inspirational speakers and change makers, and I do mean inspirational speakers. I think we even have a virtual or a true live Iron Man with us who will be speaking later on. You'll find out what I mean by that later. And this conference is exploring resilience in its many forms and how it can help us all move forward in a positive way as we emerge from this very unprecedented pandemic. That, of course, ladies and gentlemen, demands new ways of thinking and living our lives, new ways of working and ways of re-evaluating our priorities on this planet. Simultaneously, though, these new ways of thinking and working should also be seen as exciting but sometimes daunting prospects. It is a mindset, a vision that requires fresh ideas, the ability to be bold and the audacity to embrace innovation as well as ambition. And those of you familiar with Glasgow will already know that this city is indeed a city brimming with ideas, a city of science, invention and innovation, a city recognised as a centre of academic excellence. And the University of Strathclyde's Technology and Innovation Centre, where we find ourselves right now, is very much a fitting venue for your gathering today, because it is a centre transforming the way academics, business, industry and the public sector are working together in partnership to find solutions to the myriad of social challenges that we all face. Ladies and gentlemen, as you will know, Glasgow is busy preparing to host COP26, the 26th United Nations Climate Change Conference here in Glasgow. And tackling the climate emergency is the single most pressing topic globally. I hope you will agree. I am proud to say, though, that Glasgow, in recognition of the urgency of climate change, was the very first UK city to declare a climate and ecological emergency back in 2019. Since then, we have already undertaken some significant steps as we look to become one of the most sustainable cities in Europe. We all recognise that we have a duty as citizens and custodians of our planet to work together to create a just world that values and conserves nature. We are all committed and focused on delivering a healthier, more equitable, more just and resilient city as we manage our city's recovery from this terrible COVID-19 crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who have been to Glasgow, what I say next will sound very familiar. But for those of you who have never been here to our great city, can I say, first of all, the fact that you are now here in Glasgow makes you honorary Glaswegians for life. With that, of course, come rights, but obligations as well. Obligations such as you must come back with your friends and family, spend lots of money in our pubs and restaurants and our shops. You will certainly not be disappointed. There is something for everyone in our city. We have some of the best museums, best green spaces, some fantastic culture and heritage. As I mentioned, we have some of the best universities in the world. Correct, Sir Jim? But most importantly, for me, we have some of the most impressive, passionate, compassionate, most generous, most hospitable of people anywhere on this planet. And I know if you look lost when you are spending some time with us and you go out on the streets of Glasgow and you're not quite sure where to go, I can guarantee that in a few minutes you will be approached, and don't panic, you will be approached by a Glaswegian asking, you look a bit lost, where are you going to? And that person will tell you where to go and they will show you where to go. And if you go into a pub, after 5 minutes you will walk away with lifelong friends, particularly if you buy them a glass of whiskey or two. But ladies and gentlemen, if you do get the chance after these amazing speakers today and tomorrow, and you get a chance to experience Glasgow and true Glaswegians, and if you can understand, of course, what they're saying in the first place, you will find that they are indeed some of the most hospitable and generous people that you can find anywhere. And they will make sure that you have the most lovely and fabulous of times to ensure that you leave with very fond memories of our city indeed. So, ladies and gentlemen, as politicians do, I've talked far too long already. So can I just simply end on this note by saying congratulations to every one of you for making it here to Glasgow, being part of this amazing, amazing conference. I hope that you take away a lot of great ideas, curiosity, as we've heard, and perhaps some scepticism as well. But contribute in your own way and experience the city with all of its delights and enjoy yourself and stay safe. Thank you.